All right, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
way
There
better.
we go.
Is that better? Yeah. Sorry, it's these fugazi wannabe AirPods. You know, they're not that great.
If they work, they work in it. You know.
Because it was very much like every 3 or 4
Yeah.
words. So I was like,
I thought it would be nice and easier, but it's not going to work out that way. So
yeah.
I'm just trying to find light because it's really, really sunny where I am. So yeah, it's better. So, gentlemen, what is the
beef
of today? What's the beef?
What's the beef? Harry, what is your beef with what I was saying?
What is my beef? Do you know what my beef is, mate? My beef is, and I'll be honest with you, because I've spent quite a few hours over the past couple of weeks, more hours than I care to admit, arguing with individuals on Clubhouse.
It's stressful. It's stressful.
It's stressful.
It sounds very stressful.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I want to laugh at that just because I wouldn't have much time to do that.
Also, it's not an Android. It's also not an Android. So, you know.
That's
yeah. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. But I think I mean, we don't really I wouldn't say it's really beef, but pertaining to what you had posted, remember on Facebook, you posted up a video of this young fellow, which I think, or who was from, I don't know, the civil rights era probably, and he's talking about, you know, how Black people are being treated, and you know, they're not being fully appreciated or fully whatever the case was. And then I made a comment, I think, saying that the only reason that a man is racist to another is because they don't want to share their resources. What did you say, Ignis?
I said that I don't think that the issue of racism is not limited to just being not wanting to share resources. I think it's more complex than just that.
The way racism has manifested itself is far more complex. But if you really, I feel like you can almost attribute everything that we humans do down to literally like our inherent sort of behavior, if you know what I mean. Like if you take it way back to like caveman, the politics were quite sorry, I got a call.
That's fine.
Politics is quite simple, but it's basically, you know, if there's a limited amount of resources, you're over there, I'm over here, and it's kind of like survival of the fittest, then you're going to do what you have to do to make sure you don't have to share your resources. I don't know, but
yeah,
I feel like that's what it all boils down to. When you have people in England,
that's almost like a starting point.
It's almost like a starting point. It's like that's it. It's definitely the starting point, and then how it manifests is, well,
it's definitely
that's complex.
I definitely would say that it manifested into more than just about being about resources. But it may have started from being about resources, but it kind of manifested into.
Well, obviously, yeah, we're not at that simple point anymore, obviously. But
Exactly.
I think if you only got fundamental, a lot of things do come back to a sense of like classic like anti-immigration rhetoric, for example, is about this idea that we are low on resources or something, whether it be housing or
land
or something,
women, men.
Oh yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because I mean, the thing is, this is what I find so funny.
Sorry.
No, go on.
No, what I was gonna say is that in one case it might have been resources, but it's also could have been from literally thinking that you have a power over somebody.
Yeah, but
it's like
that's what I'm saying. So basically, you're talking about their you know, establishing this sort of hierarchy. Yes, but that was also a very caveman-like kind of ideal. Like, oh, I'm better than this person. Why are you gonna say that you're better than an X-Man? So you don't have to share.
Yeah.
Why are you gonna say that? What's the reasoning? So you don't have to share. So you don't have to justify sharing with an individual. Why? Because you think that they're lesser of a person than you are. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we like to dress it up. And for example, you see so many titles on Clubhouse like, oh, white men are stealing, white women are stealing black men, and
I would ask though, like, what is the what is the are there general like trends on Clubhouse, or is there like quite a really broad opinion range, do you think?
It's a very broad opinion range, and there's so many repeated opinions. It's like
so
recycled conversations. Like at this point, I'm kind of sick of talking about race.
Like, what are the common discourse, I guess? Or is it just is it quite circular in a sense?
No idea.
Oh dear.
It's fine.
I'm just bored of talking about race, because you'll never be able to get to the bottom of it. But how we navigate this world is what we have control over.
The other thing what I was saying, like, that me and you was going back and forward into the in the comments.
Yeah.
I was referring to the fact that it can't just be about racism. Sorry, it can't be it can't just be about resources when there's an existence of hate, hate groups.
Yeah, but what brought them together, Ignis? That's what I was trying to say. What do you think brought them together?
I think it's important to like.
It's more like 500 years of history. Of
a bit more than
like literally 200 or 300 years of people actually doing that because of resources. And then when it actually got changed, and it was like 1775 or something, it got changed, the whole Boston Tea Party. After that was, no, we're doing it because our parents told us this is how it is. And it was,
well,
after generation after generation. And the fact that it's right now, we probably, like, even right now, like, the reason we are talking even about this is because it's more on the limelight. Like, it's more in the spotlight than ever.
But it's always there, isn't it? It's ever present. It's like Shaq v Kobe,
I can't imagine. I can't imagine right now, like 100 years ago, there would have been, like, especially in America, I can't imagine 100 years ago would have been less racism than there is right now.
Oh, of course not.
Exactly.
Of course not. It's more apparent, and yes, we have made some headway, quite frankly, but I still feel like
my point is, it's thinning out throughout the years, throughout like decades.
Legally, yes,
it's thinning out.
Definitely.
Legally, yes.
Of course
it is. But do you know what?
Because it's in the spotlight.
I feel like if the real damage, I mean, if the real damage that is caused by racism has already been done, what we're dealing with now is kind of like the aftermath. So, for example, civil rights era, people are fighting for the right to literally be able to vote, to be able to go to school, to be able to be treated as a normal human being. We've now surpassed that point. What we really need to be tackling is like the racist, like the what?
I'm not quite sure if we're surpassed that.
I feel
legally, most of it, yes.
I think legally, I think we can do what we want when we want, however we want, and no one can tell us nothing. There's no blacks, no dogs, no Irish. So I think we've come a long way.
Well, it depends, but yeah.
It's definitely an apartheid situation where apartheid happened like what, basically 20 years ago, something?
Apartheid's end is younger than Soviet Union's collapse.
Yeah,
so 20 years ago.
Which is crazy. But then again, why were the South Africans doing that in South Africa? Because they didn't want to share the resources.
No, South Africa is a very interesting example, that I would say, compared to say
why did the white man come to Africa?
It's a very interesting example, because it's like different waves of, like, you got like the Dutch from like 400 years ago, and then you have like the British. It's a very interesting kind of dynamic, and then you have like the kind of like Indian migration movement as well, for example. There's quite a lot going on there.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah,
there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
Another thing,
and it's going to take more than 20 years to do so, isn't it? So
another thing as well, what we're talking about, me and Sa were talking about earlier today, actually. Because I was saying, like, for example, Asians are not seen.
Oh, do we have to be politically correct?
Sorry?
Do we have to be politically correct?
In terms of what?
I just want to know.
Somewhat, yes.
Okay, we do.
Well, I prefer just being correct.
Asians, I'm not saying specific.
No,
I
I'm
prefer
not attacking you. I'm just saying, do I have to be PC? Because sometimes I mean well, but sometimes things just come out.
But the idea is have the space to clear, like, be clear with what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think that's the important thing.
Yeah. So sorry. Yes. Ignis, back to you.
It's all right. Don't worry. Don't need to be PC.
I don't know what that means too.
Politically correct. You can't say colours.
I know what it means, but like, what does it mean? You know what I mean? What is?
Yeah. I was gonna say what we were talking about before was there must have been a reason why like the English was going for.
It's just geography, mate.
No, it's not.
It's not that simple, but it kind of is.
It is that simple. There must. It
kind of is as simple as geography.
There's a reason why, like the English, especially English, was going to Africa to pick up slaves.
Also, it was.
They didn't go the other way to Asia to pick up slaves.
But you know how far away that is? Do you actually know how far away that is?
Can I reel it back a little bit?
Yeah.
What actually happened was they brought the Irish over to the plantations in Jamaica. The Irish couldn't hack the heat. It's only after they realized they couldn't do nothing with the Irish that's when they went to Africa.
Yeah.
To get the black people. So they were the first slaves, but they were going to other places.
No, but the one saying
Ireland is even closer.
When it comes to like black people and like Asians, physiologically, they were like, "Nah, we're taking a black man."
I don't think it started that simple. I think it was just it's probably a heat thing. I think it's probably a heat thing. Like, for example,
but come on, like imagine the temperatures that you can get somewhere in like South Asia.
Yeah, but the equator. But also imagine the travel time.
Exactly. It's the logistics of it all isn't as
like you gotta look at, and obviously it's hard, isn't it? But you gotta look at it as like people are treated as property. So you gotta look at it that way.
And you go, okay, so do I go one way or do I go the other way? It's literally
logistics.
Okay. If you're from England, how do you sail to I don't know, India?
I'm talking about from America.
Yeah, but like the West Coast was basically like untouched by colonial influence.
No, even later
comparatively untouched by colonial influence at a certain point.
You're forgetting that like racism only like black people got their rights in America in about 1880 something, I think.
No, I'm talking about freedom from slavery. Then obviously North US states. I can't remember.
Emancipation or whatever.
All I recall is the triangle trade, transatlantic trade is 1802.
So now I forgot to bring.
I think
literally wrote something.
It's just off the head. But yeah, transatlantic slave trade ends like in 1800 or something.
The dates and everything.
Basically, but remember at that point, it's like the US were already doing that thing, but you have to remember that the US had seceded from the United Kingdom and thus didn't have the access to Africa as simple as they would have if they were a British colony.
Okay.
Because literally, like, they were at war, and then, things broke up.
I still don't think that's...
So, for example, a USA colonized what we call Liberia, for example, but that's basically it. And then eventually the Philippines, and eventually a couple of places like Guam, and obviously Hawaii and whatnot.
Isn't Hawaii part of
now
islands?
It's a state officially.
It's officially, isn't it? No, yeah, it is.
It's basically like their Gibraltar. Basically, it's that far away.
Yeah.
Well, apart from it wasn't, taken from Spain.
Was it from Spain?
Gibraltar was obviously.
Oh no, I thought you meant Hawaii.
I think there's a thing there about like the logistical attitude of so little was there concern for, I guess, on the social side, that it was just fully acceptable. Like, because slavery was just part and parcel of life. Like slaves were traded like wheat or steel.
Yeah.
For example, it was just a value proposition. Sorry. I think the only real differences with the transatlantic trade, there was like it's probably the first like big formalized version of like international trade that involves like slavery as well. But yeah. Wait, what were you saying again?
No, I was actually. I just remembered that we were talking that me and Harry were talking about the whole all lives matter thing.
Nah.
Ooh, spicy.
Spicy. Yeah, I love this one.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The whole all lives matter for me is, in a way, it's BS.
Why is it BS?
It's BS because it's common sense.
No, exactly. So no, but hold on. I think we have to separate the notion of all lives matter and Black Lives Matter, and then separate the political agenda.
But but then I think a lot of people say, like, of course all lives matter. Like, yes, but
but you can't protest in my protest. You know what I mean? You can't protest in my protest. You can't, like, all lives must have mattered before Black Lives Mattered, right? So why were you screaming it then?
So you're talking about how all lives matter protesters was protesting in the BLM protest?
Yeah, it was a response to the BLM protest. Okay, it wasn't alongside, it was a direct
at least
response.
On social media. I mean, I've not left the house, so, you know.
That's just bullshit. I mean, that it doesn't make no sense. For me, at least,
for example,
it doesn't make no sense, because what's the point? Like, you literally just going, you're wrong.
Also, if you're gonna come out,
I'm just showing, like, I'm just expressing my opinion, and then the other side is going, you're wrong. What the fuck? Like, what are we gonna achieve by that? Like,
you can't please everyone, and there's always going to be those idiots.
It's gonna happen by you going, you're wrong.
Nothing, but people.
It's not just Black people that matter.
The thing is, like I said, it's all down to human.
It's common sense now.
It's all down to the basic. It's all down to the basic human instinct. If a bunch of people are going around saying, chanting, "Oh, Black Lives Matter," and you're not Black, you're gonna feel some certain type of way. It might not display, but you might feel subconsciously threatened.
It's this feeling of what's it? Exclusion. Even if it doesn't.
Yeah, exclusion. So you're gonna either create your own thing.
That's the feeling of it. Yeah.
So you're gonna go ahead and create your own thing, and then you're gonna do that in response, even if you didn't really have an issue before. Now you have an issue.
It's just excluded of a movement that you may or may not have made any real effort to contribute towards.
Exactly. I mean, so let me just disclaim it here. I of course, Black Lives Matter, but I do not support the political party or any of their agendas.
I mean, the reality situation is these things are complicated. So there's gonna be like different avenues. Like there's classic splits, like, you know, isolationist versus hard integration, for example, and you know, like there's so many approaches, and you're like, oh, okay, what do you prioritize? Do you go for like grassroots issues, for example, or like at the legal sphere in terms of like extra protections?
For me, the thing is, yes, of course, but I think my issue with the Black Lives Matter thing is just the whole, I guess my real issue is with the leftist agenda, because I don't like left-wingers. I'm sorry, I don't. I feel like it helps perpetrate this victimhood.
Whatever that means, whatever the fuck that means, whatever these words mean, whatever these words mean. But I guess liberal, like the simple sense of I guess free markets, some form of free, you know, relatively low government, I guess would be the simple concept of liberalism. You know, not like too heavy with like policing, for example. You know, let me smoke weed, let me marry you know, whoever I want, let me spend money, let me, I guess,
yeah,
is that what you'd call, is that what you'd frame as like liberal? Because I know I don't like using certain words that are so overused. But I was thinking in that kind of simple sense of, you know, relatively low interaction with the state.
Yes,
and then
that
kind of, you know.
Yeah, don't like liberals either.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Huh?
You're forced to like me. I'm your family now.
Jeez.
Of course. I mean, listen, like, it's not... I know, you know, sometimes when I voice my opinions, I sound really harsh, but I like to talk. I always like to think that I'm talking from the perspective of just basic common sense.
Yeah, I get you.
That's it. Like, I don't discriminate against anyone. Anyone can do whatever they want, live and let live. That I'm all about that. But at the same time, we have to keep an eye on, you know, what agendas are being pushed, because quite frankly, I feel like the way society's going, if we continue to let it go on the way it's going on, it's going to be a mess in 20 years.
I mean,
I've told this to Sa. I already spoke to Sa about this, and I can bet any money that once I tell you what I thought, like, that Black Lives Matter movement should have looked like in America, you would have a different idea.
Yeah.
But it's
okay.
But I also have to remember, I've never lived in the USA. Like, I think, like I was saying to English before about, like, I know maybe it'd be easier to kind of not really feel invested at all in the state at all, and just kind of try and do my own thing, or, you know, that kind of like hard kind of accelerationist approach of, I can't invest in any of this that feels like, I guess, mainstream politics, for example. I mean, for example, like the Joe Bidens of the world, like it's probably taxing, I guess, on some people to
you cannot be invested in what your neighbor is doing over the other side of the fence, but you can literally hear it and you're going, what the, like, this doing something fucked up,
because we live in the same country. So it's like, oh,
you get me in. No, I'm talking about literally, because we all literally, what the fence that I'm talking about is literally social media.
Perhaps, yes.
You can hear it and you can see it over the fence. Like what's going on in America, what might be going in Asia, what might be going in all over the world. Because it's almost like, oh, just other side of the fence.
Me, I'll be honest with you, like the way people in the UK were responding when the whole movement was going on, honestly, like it was absolute farce. Like, how the hell can you even possibly think that you have the same shared experiences as those as a person of color in America? Some people do, but not on such.
Of course, because it's the fact that we are different. Things manifest differently. I think that's the key thing.
And the thing is, and what I hate is that we constantly fail to actually recognize our own privileges.
Well, like UK, no, I think a lot of people point them out, but I think the kind of like things manifest different in the UK. So the issues and discussions have to come from that point of, okay, we live in this country with this state of affairs that we inherited. And also you can make conversation and echoes like, oh, how is it compared to Brazil or France, right? I would say UK and France are probably easiest to compare in like loads of issues, from like, you know, poverty gap to, you know, matured capitalism to
France
racism.
France have racism. So
like country branding, for example, I think it's, I would say UK and France are much better to compare than UK and USA, except, but USA, you know, they have English speakers. So, you know, but yeah, I think there's a lot to look at.
The way I said that the whole protests was what I thought what they should have done to protest about, specifically about even George Floyd, right? What I think they should have done, and I said this to Sal already, was
the police station thing.
Yeah. So organize where you maybe have 150 people. So that's more than, like, probably less than what you would have had in a protest.
Yeah.
Right? Have maybe, I don't know, 100 people, literally have them with guns in front of a police station, and literally just aiming at the police station. And then have 50 people with cameras around. Not shooting, not doing anything, just aiming, for literally just record that for like a minute. Everyone puts their guns down and walks away.
Well, no, keep the guns.
A lot can happen.
Keep the guns.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I would have recording. That's why I would have like literally have people around recording every single person.
So basically, a statement.
Yeah, it's a statement. How about make a statement instead of protest and like literally?
All protests are statements.
How many?
You know, they're all
What kind of damage and like how many property damage and business damage was made?
Yeah, it is silly.
Shame, really. Yeah.
Like, remember when everyone went rioting because of the student fees went up? What happened afterwards? The student fees still stayed up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But there's loads of damage everywhere, and people were.
I think that there's a lot of weird things, like, you know, like the Million Man March against the Iraq War, for example. You know, I think maybe that there's that thing of, I guess, probably over the past 20 years, because of more access to just quick social information, but also just if you've grown up through that generation of no matter what, we have like 2 or 3 different types of heads of state, comparing like Blair to Cameron to Boris, I guess, even if they have similarities, of course. It's probably difficult to see a world in which I can actually like get a proportional result from a proportional, like, non-violent protest, which is a shame. Because I mean, how far gone are you at that point? How little faith do you have in the democratic process at that point? You know, yeah, you might still vote and stuff, and you know, you'll make an effort, and you know, but then first past the post, you're basically punished for voting honestly, arguably. So that I mean, there's a lot that goes on, and maybe there's this deep fear that this kind of eruption will just continue to spill out in different manners. If it's not, you know, more people scamming, it's more property damage. If it's not more people going like hard towards maybe more specialized parties.
My point was that with statements and with showing how you're feeling, you can actually show a more spirit, and you can actually show your like what you actually believe in, instead of actually like doing property damage, like that's good, like doing
property damage isn't not planned, is it? It's not planned, is it? You know.
No, but I was saying to you, like I was saying as well, like about the whole statues, like taking the whole taking out of the statue down, right?
Yeah.
If you would have been standing there, or like standing like with the people, or in front of the people that actually put those statues up, and gone, I want that statue to be done, but because this is what it represents, and like literally record that and record their reaction, that would have been a better statement than literally taking the fucking statue down.
Yeah, because you make it too easy for them to brand you as a
exactly. Because
although like there's a weird
vandalism, this is like these are the kind of protests happening because you're allowed put those tags on you.
Like, there's a thing of like a weird thing about like branding and optics that I don't know. I feel maybe deep umbrage with it. And some days I'm like, okay, I understand. You know, you want to communicate with people through different means. But other times I'm like, why the fuck should I cultivate my message for you? Sometimes I feel like that, but at the same time, I mean, you want to be clear with things, and you want to like get to the point of things, and hope that there's no thing being misread. But if we're being honest, there's clearly a feeling of it doesn't really matter how I present my message; it's going to be misread, and maybe I can write things in good faith, and maybe I can try and express myself in a certain way, and then I think that's. I know I've talked about it so much in like so many videos this past like year of just like this deep, I guess. Well, defeatism is a simple word, but just there's literally no sense of like I do this thing and this thing happens, or I try and do this thing in good faith and it's met with, you know, a good faith action or reaction from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And when you're at that weird point, you know, okay, fuck it, let's take no statue.
Yeah, you don't give a damn. That's it.
But I mean, you still make an effort. You know, you still try and build things.
Yeah, of course. Because
my thing is, why not just not give them a choice?
But like, who are we talking to here? Who we communicating to?
No, I'm talking about the people that was protesting, right?
Yeah.
They are making a choice of to whether to give the tradition, for example, even traditional media, whether to give them a choice or not of how to brand them, of how to tag them. if you're gonna be doing things in specific way, and everyone that's protesting is doing it that exact way, that's how you're gonna be tagged, or how you're gonna be branded. So if nobody else is 100 people, the 99 people is saying Black Lives Matter, and then the one person out of the 100 is going and throwing the statues, like getting the statues down, they're still gonna get tagged as vandalism, like vandalism. It's not gonna get, but if everyone is, because if you're there united and you're protesting united, that's what you're gonna get tagged for. Like that's gonna be branded.
Did you just assume that people came for the same reasons?
Yeah, exactly.
Other people came to go, oh, there's a mayhem in the streets. Fuck you, let me get some food for my family.
Deep down in it. Deep down.
Everyone has different motivations.
Or
like, for example, recently the protests that were held for the Lady Sarah.
It wasn't even protests. That's the thing. It wasn't even a protest.
And the thing is, even it's such a tragic thing. But imagine the media really wanted to home in on that one girl or one woman that got arrested.
I mean, it's a
crisis actor.
It's a story about like the whole police thing, though. I will say, like, I think that adds that angle to
about
it.
The whole Clapham Common thing.
Yeah, is that where it took place? I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, the one that's about the woman that got killed by the police officer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is, like, the media is funny because that would be quite a sensitive subject. But what the first thing that they want to do is assess who's a crisis actor, who isn't. Like, everybody.
Who the fuck is doing that? Actors are so literally, actors are one of the most underpaid people at this current time. 18 months into a pandemic or whatever.
I cannot.
Yeah, but exactly. So the traditional media was.
I wish I was a crisis actor.
Was looking at the
I'm telling you, you're getting paid.
No, the traditional media was looking at the people at the woman that got arrested.
They managed to pull up her acting profile, everything.
Exactly.
And then deduce that she's a crisis actor, which is.
I'm like, she's also a woman.
Wait.
But mind you, listen, we live in an era on social media where people will go to places of unrest and pose for the pic. That's it. So you have to be discerning. Okay, like, you're looking at your brother in the protest. What are you here for? Why did you come?
Well, if you're gonna come and jam, innit? Come and jam, but like, just don't be in the way. Like,
Yeah.
Like, you can jam, obviously. It's still a street. Do your thing, but buy your shoes. Maybe ask a couple questions, but like.
Look, my whole thing about like protests in general, like even the whole tuition fee. I was saying this. I don't know why the hell are they protesting about tuition fees.
I mean, it's an issue.
Wouldn't you?
It's an issue, isn't it?
From 3,000 to 9,000, you say that's not an issue worth protesting, please.
And I mentioned to Ignace, it's not about the money. I told
it's a lot of money.
It's about the principle. I said that's what I said before.
Principle or money?
It's the principle.
No.
The money is an issue. Yes.
About principle. I get paid to go to uni. What the hell? I get paid to go and get my education.
Get reimbursed to go to uni, technically.
Like, seriously, there's literally, like, even in my own country, but there's literally other European countries where parents have to take out mortgage for a child to go to uni.
That's a shame.
They literally have to pay 40K out of their pocket.
There are countries where people don't get access to clean water, innit? People don't get clean water. People don't get clean water in some countries.
Complaining about it.
Some of those countries are the greatest in the world. I mean,
like, this is what we're complaining about.
Yes.
This is what people are complaining about. Oh,
yes.
You need to pay. You need to pay extra of money.
No, listen, Ignace,
it's relative. It's relative.
The issue that I think a lot of people found, or a lot of people are now that have graduated and they're paying back, is the fact that the fees went through the roof, but salaries from these
quality didn't. But the quality didn't.
The quality didn't improve. So what are you supposed to do? You're just supposed to, You know what I mean? That's what, like, for example, now people are angry that, oh, their mates from that graduated uni 3 years ago that were part of the cohort that were paying the £3,000 a year, when they see their check come through and their national insurance has gone out and this and that has got their student loan, it's a lot lower than they who studied the same course. I don't care whether the debt is going to be written up in 35 years.
But it's the fact that I know it's a problem, man. Like my degree is lovely. My degree is right there, right? My degree is right there. It's very cute. It's very nice. I don't look at it.
I mean, we're talking about where you can literally get a second-hand job and you're not going to be paying shit.
Yeah, if you want to do that for the rest of your life and like never make any more like loan payments,
you run your own business. You run your own business. You literally you're in control of your own dividends and what you're actually going to be paying.
If you make a profit, but yes.
You can never. You can literally position yourself in a way that you will never pay that fucking money back. And you
if you want, yeah, you can do that. But like maybe I don't want to. Okay,
smart,
really? Also, Ignas.
Like,
so for example, with my biz, okay, right? Ignas. So for my business, right, for me to be able to afford to start a business, right, where does my money come from?
What do you mean, where does the money come from?
Where does my money come from?
It's definitely not coming from the you having to pay for it for uni.
But where does my money come from? Like the money I've invested into my business, where is it from?
Yeah, it's from your own work.
But it's from what's the original source? Like when I opened a bank account, put £500 in. Where's that £500 come from?
It's from your job. That's what I'm saying.
From my job, yes.
That's what.
How did I get that job? Partially because I was a student.
It wasn't because of. Come on.
I mean, obviously other things, but it's the idea of, oh, hey, here's someone who's just finished university a couple of years ago. It'd be kind of cool to partner up with my son so you can be a carer for him who's going through uni. Oh, I don't have to worry too much. This is someone who knows the environment. This is someone who knows the process.
It has anything to do with the course he was doing.
No. Exactly. But what I'm saying is, it's not about the course, though, is it? It's not about the course. Because I did Russia at uni too. Have I spoken a word of Russian in a year? No.
Exactly.
But I did it.
But that's my point. Like it doesn't even make any difference what you're gonna be doing in you're gonna be doing in uni, because you can literally
it does make a difference.
You can turn around and do completely different things, or completely different area where you're actually gonna be making more money than you probably would if.
But I still paid £9,000 to get taught by PhD students.
And you're gonna be and you're not even gonna worry about paying the tuition fees back.
But I still paid £9,000 to then to still buy books. To still buy books, and then I paid £9,000 to not even be able to be on campus.
No,
or have Zoom meetings.
I was saying to you about this before. Imagine now. They in the student finance, so the SFE decided to go, you know what, we're just gonna pay for your tuition. We're gonna keep your tuition the way you want it to be. So it's gonna be, was it 9K? Like at least when I went, it was 9K. So we're gonna keep it at 9K, but we ain't giving you no loans and no grants. Go for it, study.
How?
No, we pay for your uni.
I mean, I can live and stuff.
We're paying for your uni. Go study.
Cool. I could probably do that.
How many students would be protesting then?
Probably still more.
Exactly. You're being paid. You're literally your tuition. Just alone, your tuition is being paid. Never mind, you also being given money to. Here, you don't even have to work. Just all you have to do is just study.
And a third of, it's a lovely system in terms of facilitating people
for more for tuition. No, you're not, because that money is might not even come out of your account ever.
Maybe it is now though, and I don't feel it, but I feel it.
I feel like
a month, a year.
Does anybody else feel like the educational system, or should I say the routes to success, or what the idea of certain routes, it's evolved? So for example, I know people back in, let's say, 80s, 90s that went, before we had like big universities, that went to polytechnics, got their little HNDs, went out into the world of work, and they've worked, and now they're making the same money as if, a person that went to university.
I think that also coincides So, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to just quickly say that. And then we all had this idea of, oh, let's push everyone to go to university. Because remember, university was free. And then they started making people pay for it because they said, oh, come to university. By the time you're done, you're going to get access to this job market. Now, it's when I was growing up, they were really pushing the whole vocational courses like, you know, BTECs, I don't know what about BTECs and anything that is practical. Like I know people that went to do plumbing and electricians and whatever. Now, I feel like with like, you know, degree apprenticeships, that's like the perfect answer.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
I don't really think like if I was considered to go to university, I'm not going to traditional university or sit there for 3 years. No, I'm going to get paid whilst I'm studying, and I'm not going to carry that debt. So I feel like we found a way around it.
No, but that's another thing. That's literally an extra option for you as somebody that's like 18 years old. That's an extra option for you.
18, you can't really get those often, but you can.
Like apprenticeships, work experience, like maybe you're doing like a higher foundation and like all this, like you have all this stuff. Like okay, maybe you can go into work, maybe you can do this. There's literally like I think the last 5 years or something, or maybe even more, disappeared that Harry just said about, where you can actually come to us. You'll work with us. You will study 3 times a week on like evening classes.
Yeah,
we'll come and
we'll pay for it.
Like,
we'll pay you.
We will actually pay you good money
and take on your debts.
You're not gonna have no debt. You're gonna have 0 debts. You're gonna get a degree.
No-brainer.
And you're also probably gonna get promotion because you worked with us.
Yeah, if you get through in that course, then cool. Why not?
Yeah, why not? People like to complain too much. They think what the answers are out there. I
think the problem is it's the diversity thing of you want to have options. Like there should be different pathways. I should go through like apprenticeship, work my way up, and then like a degree thing or like a kind of hard degree option, and then kind of start like lower than degree apprenticeship would start, for example. Like, you know, like graduate schemes, for example, that kind of thing of, okay, you've got some of the soft skills and, you know, or you clearly have studied this subject that's relevant to us. But then, you know, the more I like age, I'm like, yo, like the economy is really complex and having these things available with enough diversity is difficult. So I guess that's why it kind of leans towards a lot of people saying, oh, if you go to uni, at least you got something tangible to say, I've done these things, regardless of where you end up. If you go to a different country, for example, and things are a bit different, at least you have something that feels tangible. I think that's the pressure, especially given that, you know, a lot of people change their lives for education.
4 years, in the 3 or 4 years, from like 18 to what, 22, 23.
Jesus.
just think about, like, even I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to uni, and I'm not trying to put people off it. But imagine what you can do within the 3 years of you being an adult and you actually making your own choices.
And the experience.
And like the work experience that you possibly can do. You can maybe even start going into apprenticeship or internship. Do a year or 2 years of just internships or just work experiences. Where
it's more valuable now to the employer. I mean, when I interview people, when my husband interviews people, it's always, we'd rather take the person that has the work experience rather than someone fresh out of uni. It's not their fault. It's just you possess what we require.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, assuming I have the time and imagine we have resources and I don't have to worry about you balancing the books for 3 years. I want both. But it's the idea of, at the end of the day, it has to be like kind of like person fit. Like, is your approach to work compatible with the mix of things I'm going for? I mean, I think of it more like a sports team almost. Like, oh, I need defenders. Oh, I need someone who's a real reader of the game. I need him to sit next to this like brute force guy who's just gonna workhorse to death. I need a bit of that, and then maybe for the next 10 years, because of the global matter of what it means to run an accountancy business, it's really good to have this skill set. So I need to really prioritize these people, and those are like my key big hires. But then at the end of the day, I still need to have, well, this is assuming that I'm a big venture capitalist fund who doesn't need to make a profit for 20 years, which is the other side as well. But then work experience will always come down to it. It's like, oh, are you comfortable in this environment? Can you get comfortable in this environment? You know, with what we do.
No, I'll be honest, I'll take real life. real life work experience over education. Education for me at this point has become something that I want to do for the fun of it, not for the fun of it, but for like
a lot of people
something
do that,
that I really feel passionate about. Like not, I have to get a job, but something that, you know what, I want to study classical history or whatever it is, and I'm going to do it because I enjoy it. That's what education should be there for, not for the purposes of, I need to do this so that it can open certain doors. That's the most like horrible thing.
But I think that should be the mindset when you're 16, 17, 18. Like the specific mindset that you just said, where I'm going to choose a subject in uni that is actually going to allow me to feel that way.
Yeah.
Rather than,
because 9am
should be pushing the idea of education, because right now everyone's pushing education.
Like
get your education so you can get a job. It shouldn't be about
market. I mean, it's not only just been in the past, because I think in the past it really did make that difference in like 1992. Like if you had a degree, then there's a difference. Like, hey, you got a degree, it's really focused on the study. So there was a clear market value because of the slight rarity. Whereas now it's a case of, what did you do while you were doing your degree? Like, what did you study? Are there any interesting things you explored during your course?
Yeah.
Another thing I remember saying a long time ago, actually, about when I said this about like the age that people should be going to uni to. I think it should be
older. Yeah.
It should be older.
Okay.
Just because
you mean lesson,
just because when you're, especially like when you're fresh out of college, my experience, I can obviously say one thing, but there's so many things where it's like, in my experience, it was overwhelming. It was just.
Yeah. We need to bring back the gap year, make it more of a bigger thing, because people need to take time before they rush into.
It should be just a year, though. You can.
Well, yeah.
It should be at least like maybe 2 or 3 years, where these are the years. Go and get work experience before you start uni.
Or do things in life. Just do something.
So these are
the work, but just expand your horizons a little bit. It should be compulsory.
I'd say compulsory. I mean, if you want to keep going down that route, okay, cool. I think if you want to go down that route, then cool. But at the same time, like, for example, like I had 2 years between undergrad and postgrad, for example, which was cool. I planned to have one. I planned to have like 1 year off and then kind of chill, and then something weird happened and I started speaking Mandarin 5 days a week. But anyway,
oh, you speak Mandarin, great.
A little bit, yeah.
I want to learn Cantonese, so.
I would, but one day I might go back to Hong Kong and just I don't know, die in a hotel there or something. Anyway, I think there's a lot of like benefit from like your perspective, because I think there's a lot of people there though. I think with master's degrees, I think there is a lot of that kind of gap year lifestyle. Like I was one of the younger people on the course at 24. A lot of people there were like pushing 28. They already had part of their careers. But a lot of the time, maybe stereotypically these days, there's more a case of, I'm young and I really want to get that master's degree. Like master's degree is the new undergrad degree.
Yeah.
In a sense. So there's that kind of group, but there was still a lot of people that were pushing 30, 32, a couple who had kids, a family, and they were pausing their careers for this degree. And then you could see the value they had in them, and they had life, and they were really doing a thing. I mean, I was kind of working relevant in like tourism and stuff. So I had a life outside of uni, which I think is very important.
Yeah.
But I think, it's kind of like you said, like go see the world a bit, go explore yourself, and then you'll come back with a value. You'll probably get more value out of it.
There's literally no rush. Like there's no rush. Yeah. Everyone's in a rush to go somewhere.
But everyone's in a rush to get out of poverty, innit? So
I'm telling you. I guess poverty is a pretty compelling reason.
I'm not gonna lie to you. When I was going to uni, Sal will tell you this, and I think I spoke to you, Aristide, as well about this. That money, that student finance money.
Oh, when it's important.
It's very important.
When I heard about it, I was like, I get paid to go to uni,
bro.
Like I can live in a world in which I don't have to worry about 2 months in advance. I really pay my rent
every single day.
Imagine paying your rent, even though house prices are overpriced. You could just pay.
I went from like 12 or 13 stones to 15 stones within a year.
But I bet the dominoes was hitting.
Jesus Christ!
All that money.
I remember what I did. when I got my first loan, I literally paid all my rent up.
Yeah. Same.
I paid all my rent up, and I said, whatever's left, we're gonna chop tonight. We're gonna really party because and before you know it, before the next loan hits, it's off, and I'm like, oh shit. But at least I have somewhere to live, you know. Yeah. People need to take time before they rush into uni because there's a whole load of decision making,
personal budget, emotional management. It's a
lot.
But then I kind of like that. Like in a sense, there's kind of a double side to it. Like maybe it's good that they get pushed to make these mistakes. Like mess up now when you're 19, 20, rather than when you're like 30.
Mess up now in uni and also accumulate debt. Well done.
But I only got to that after uni, you see. So actually, technically, because overdraft. But you know, I mean, I was literally homeless.
Right now, obviously, even taking out like loans and tuition fees, that's already you going into debt technically. So
yeah, that's the thing as well. These sneaky. That's another thing I don't like about this leftist agenda. This whole trying to get us into debt before we even learn how to earn money properly.
Oh no, someone argued the leftist agenda is to not have the debt at all. But it depends on like. I mean, that's why there's so many diverse.
I mean, if you
approaches to it.
I mean, if you can't, you know, have the debt, isn't it?
Or like different routes, or if it's like what you're saying about alternatives. Like, are there enough viable alternatives that aren't so demonized by the market? So you either have 5 years experience, or you have a degree or apprenticeship, which can work. Or it'll be very nice if I got paid minimum wage. It'd be very nice. Just saying.
I was never nice with minimum wage, mate.
But I said it'd be very nice if I got paid minimum wage rather than half of minimum wage, is what I'm saying. Which what an apprentice gets. It'd just be very nice if that happened. You know?
Yeah, but then
I remember Harry was telling me like, oh, go into apprenticeships. I'm like, they don't pay anything.
If you want.
No.
No, this was long time ago.
Some respect on these apprenticeships. Let's put it this way.
No, it depends what type of apprenticeship we're talking about. So, for example,
recently,
what type are we talking about? That's the difference.
But this was long time. This one's long time ago. This was
because you get your regular apprenticeships, then you have your higher ones, and then you get your degree ones. The degree apprenticeships. That's the salary. Yeah. That's where it's at. Yeah. Okay.
No,
that's a different. If you're talking about the other ones, then you're going to be getting £3.50 an hour.
Yeah. It's and that's cute.
I saw one the other day.
You're educated to a undergrad degree.
I saw one the other day. It was for Moët and Hennessy, and it was basically a marketing manager. What do you call it? Marketing manager,
like brand builder.
Apprenticeship.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. To work. I think to work with their Glenmorangie whiskey brand or whatever it is.
Cool. Yeah.
For apprenticeship, they were offering, of course, on top of paying for your university, 30 grand a year. I thought that's not too shabby at all.
Yeah, Santander is doing something.
Why wouldn't?
Santander was doing something similar.
Or like the grad, something
was
like
27K, I think.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it just seems like a no-brainer, but I guess it's down to the individual.
Met was doing. I actually applied for it.
Yeah, the funniest thing, I think the saddest thing is that the easiest come up.
It was like a crash investigator or something like that.
Oh.
And it was they were doing that, and it was I think 35K, where they said uni and everything as well. Burbeck, I think.
Fair. And I think the weirdest thing is
I didn't get it, but I'm like I'm 35K and I get to get a degree in uni. I'm fucking applying for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of make the weird comparison between like in the US, your come up is join the army, and then you get your tuition paid off.
Ooh, can I just say something?
Yeah.
I was somebody this morning. They said that the military is the only way for a black person in America to escape poverty.
Like beyond a shadow of doubt. Either that or prestigious degree.
No, I don't know about that.
Or music or musical sport, but you know.
Yeah, but that's really tough. But I think it's really sick to join
like surefire way. Yeah. As in like through the army, you get out of poverty or your money back, basically.
Yeah.
Unless certain issues happen, you end up coming back home and to no job because you haven't got the skill set that even lets you get into McDonald's.
Yeah, but army is a different animal than just going for a job. I mean, come on, like some
people do it just for the money.
That's fine.
It's no longer about feeling patriotic.
Hey.
It's the money.
It's not about that.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm
No, to
talking
the
about
money.
how much money? How much money are you going? Would you like? How much of your money would you throw away to not have like PTSD? Other like any other mental.
Yeah, but doesn't stop
issues.
people. It doesn't stop people signing up though, does it?
No, I'm not saying it.
PTSD is nothing new.
I'm just saying, like,
certain man have, like, okay, like it's a bit deep, but certain man have seen school shootings, certain man have seen their mothers, killed. Certain people have seen their dads commit suicide because of that. Fuck it.
Yeah,
I'll take the army.
I'll take the army for sure.
I'm not saying it's not an option.
It's never.
I'm not saying they shouldn't do it. What I'm saying is, if you're looking from a different angle, yeah, it might be good money, and you might be for like getting your ass out of what's it called? Poverty. But you might come back. You might come back after 5 years with some nightmares.
Yeah, but listen, Ignis, I think we're talking about money here, but we actually have to think it's not just money, it's the security, because let's put it this way, soldiers don't get paid, they get paid shit, okay? But they have subsidized housing, they get secure pension,
you get a range of credit cards as well.
There's a range of things, there's a range of benefits that they can get that would have them living as if they were civilians with a 50K net salary, you understand?
Yeah, but how comes it's the vets that's the ones that's coming back to their civilian lives and are saying that we don't have anything to do
because they spent all that time outside of the country not doing things in
but that's what I'm saying. We can't get a proper job. They're literally complaining that we can't get a proper job because all the job that they had was in the army. So when when they want to go back to the civilian life, they have fuck all.
No, it's true. I mean, I personally know someone. Oh God. Wait, let me just think about what I'm about to say. I know somebody that was a soldier, did the whole, I think it was Afghanistan thing. Come back, really bad. I mean, he got shot and everything, really bad PTSD. And he was actually really let down, and now he's a crack dealer. So
shit.
Damn. Yeah, it's not easy.
Turn that down a bit.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So I don't think army is this best option.
No, we're not saying best option for life. We're just saying, like, if you want
now,
if you want to get out of poverty or your money back option.
Yeah.
If you want to get out of poverty or your money back.
Listen, let's put it this way, Ignis. If I could pass that,
what's the worst that can happen? I can end up in prison. What's the worst that can happen, right?
True.
Let me tell you something, Ignis, now, right? There's been some points in my life where I've seriously considered if I could pass that fitness test for this army thing, I'd be there.
Become a Fed or something, or to become, or something.
I'd be there. If I could pass it, I'd be there.
Hell no.
And I would have been out.
Hell no.
Bruh.
Hell no, not in the British Army. I'll be dragging your ass out of them barracks.
No,
you have no idea how. Like
maybe
I
might.
No, Ignis, I'm joining an army. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Nah, I might consider some cute nation like I might consider like Singapore. Maybe Singapore. Maybe
Singapore. Why Singapore?
Maybe for the passport, bro. What do you mean?
Why Singapore? Why Singapore passport? You already have a passport. I don't know.
Yeah, it's all right, but it's decreased in value recently. I don't know what happened.
Hey,
it's decreased in value.
I have dual two passports soon.
Hey, what?
I will have an option. I'll have an option to go for it.
Fair enough.
What, for dual? Or pick one?
No, to get
because does Lithuania allow you?
We're publishing this online, so I'm not saying anything.
Oh yeah.
We edit this out. It's a minus.
I ain't saying it. We said we're gonna be posting this, so I'm not saying anything.
Well, you're gonna have to learn how to edit better because you should be able to cut and chop and screw that nicely.
Create a narrative.
I'll say it.
Yeah, never mind.
Less of a headache.
Okay.
But no, I because obviously I have the indefinite leave to remain or whatever.
Yeah.
After 12 months, I'm allowed an option to pick up British citizenship, basically.
Fair enough.
You're covering your mic.
Oh, sorry. Do you think it's do you think the British passport holds any value?
No, it does. It's just decreased slightly, you know.
I think it's decreased.
It's decreased slightly, in it.
Because, for example, I'll be honest. Like, mum got her indefinite leave to whatever, like, over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's only up until like not even last year, the year before last, she said, okay, I'll apply for this bloody red book then. Let's see what it's all about.
Thing is, for tourism, it's good. For tourism, you're blessed.
Yeah, that's about it.
You're blessed. I need it. I don't need it.
Yeah, you don't.
I don't have it now. I would have gotten it now. I mean, I've been here for what, like, since 2012? So I would have gotten like 5 years in.
Yeah.
I would have actually needed it. I don't need it.
Me, I'd rather have the Lithuanian passports. I can go places in Europe.
Lucky.
That's what we was going to Greece before that year.
Yeah,
so
we need to go because
you people gonna have to.
We become you people, you know.
Yeah, them man there.
Are gonna be able to. You're gonna be able to. Well, sorry, British citizens. That was the last time. You're gonna be able to go to Europe without any visas or anything. I don't need a visa.
Yeah, but the visas now they're only gonna cost like £6.
Or like it won't be. No, you can go. You can travel with visa free.
I can tell
so
you.
Tourism wasn't affected. I think the big thing is, let's say I fall in love with a place. Let's say I go to Budapest and think, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah.
And look, they have
stay there to live.
And then my company has a thing here. Or there's similar job prospects here. Or what if I really love like esports? So I move to Germany or Poland. But actually, I can't easily. I've got to come here on a 90-day tourist visa. So I'm working, but technically illegally.
Yeah.
So I have to come on a tourist visa and then go back home every 85 days instead of just.
I think it's
because a lot of Russians did that. A lot of Russians did that like 10 years ago because they'll go into tournaments or go into events, but they didn't have a house there. But they're making money. They're making moves. They're making connections. But they just went back to Russia after like 80 days.
Yeah, next time back.
And maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I want to live in a place and register my, for housing benefits or other things in a country. Maybe I want to receive a salary
if you
in a bank account.
I would just go to every single country and apply for benefits.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, you could live and chill and work and seek work before getting there, which is the biggest thing. But now I have to be serious.
Nah, I'm alright without a British passport. To be honest. The only reason I thought it would be a good idea to get a passport, just because when it came to jobs, the fact that like if they're asking for like ID and I can actually show them a British passport, it might give me they might look at me differently.
It's a shame, really, in some ways. But I guess it's the idea of investment risk. For example, like, I mean, right now, when I have something,
I've dealt with this the whole time. I've been,
especially since 2017, 2016. You're like, because we didn't know what the deal was until like what, a month and a half ago, if I give you 2 months ago.
Yeah.
We didn't really know what it would actually feel like until.
Yeah, but even now, I don't think it's a full impact, or at least people not feeling.
Oh, guys! What do you think about the COVID passports?
What is that?
What?
Firstly, because I need to be defined.
You've had a vaccination before you can enter. Well, the countries that stipulate you should have a.
Which I understand, because it's a bit like yellow fever or Hep C vaccines, or if you want to live in China, you have to do like 5 blood tests.
I don't want to get the whole vaccine subject on here.
No, sorry.
It does cross section with race, though.
It does cross section with race.
It does cross section with race. It does cross section with race in a certain way about like.
I just think it's a bit cheeky. I just think none of the under 50s are going to, unless they're healthcare workers, they're not flying out. They're not flying out anywhere. Because
I'm flying out. I don't mind getting I don't mind getting a test. You can do test for me.
The test. Yeah, of course, a test. Yeah.
And in more organized countries,
like festivals and stuff like that.
Yeah, things in more organized countries, you could literally just be in a box for a day, and they'll give you a sandwich, and be like, "Okay, you're cleared to go."
No, you can test me. You can test
me
100 times. You can test me 10 times a day. I don't care.
Yeah, that's blessed.
But you're not gonna get no vaccine.
No, hell no.
It's not a big deal. It hurt my arm for about a week, and then and then I turn into a lizard.
No.
Harry, I've been working throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
I get tested every single week, and I ain't catching shit. So why the fuck would I get a vaccine for?
It's a convenience thing.
It's the convenience. It's really it's just a convenience.
But obviously, like, I actually work in care, so it's different for me.
Get a test one way, get a test another way. I can literally get a test at work.
Yeah.
Like other people are paying for their test to go and get it tested just so they can travel. I can literally get the same exact test that they do in NHS, the whole swab thing.
Yeah.
I can do it at work.
Yeah, which is nice. Hopefully, most people can do that.
So,
I mean, rapid testing has clearly been more visible.
Everyone can do it, but I'm, in terms of this subject, I'm privileged in that kind of way, where I can actually get a test done. So why the hell would I get a vaccine for?
Yeah, but there'll come a point where it may not be so easy for you to get the test regularly. So
no, they've been doing tests on regular basis. They've been testing everyone on site, literally throughout the whole period.
Yeah, I think at least now the past few months, more visible rapid testing.
When is your second vaccine, sir?
Like May or something. Well, we assume.
Yeah, but you had to get tested. You had to get vaccinated. I don't need to.
It's convenient.
You work in close proximity to.
Also, like, it's the rotation of people.
Person. I don't.
So, for example, like there's 4 carers plus theoretically their families that they're in contact with, and then my family, and then his housemate, you know, and their carer. So you're like, But also, I mean, I like being able to walk off a plane and go, hello, here's a card, you know, I'll see you in 2 weeks. Frank. If it makes things easier, it's not a big deal for me. You know, because luckily I don't live in the 1920s in USA.
What about you, Harry? What do you think,
for example?
What do I think about, sorry?
What do you think about this whole passport thing?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think
you're asking us.
I think it's cheeky, and I definitely think I'd fall under the cohort of the people that would get the vaccine just so that they can go places. I don't really care.
It's been like, there's a bunch of countries in the world that, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago were already doing like you might have to show a certain vaccine certificate for certain things.
Yeah, like yellow fever and that.
Yeah. This is already a thing, but maybe because it'll be a bigger scale this time, then a lot of more people feel it.
Yes, yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's nothing new really.
I swear the vaccine doesn't stop you from being a carrier, right?
Actually, no. It's just it gives you the antibodies.
It gives you the antibodies for you to deal with it for yourself.
Your body, yeah.
If you're a carrier, you can just go and carry it to somebody else. So what kind of holidays are you going to be able to have?
Nice ones.
Where you're still gonna have to be wearing a mask where everywhere you go, never mind you are vaccinated or not, because you potentially could be a carrier.
Not from Australia.
And it's not gonna be much. Even Australia is not gonna take you in. Calm down.
Because they're racist, not because of COVID.
They ain't playing the whole Corona thing. That's why they're open fully now. Because they went, nobody coming in. That's
you know it's funny.
Yeah, Australia's on smoke. They don't give a fuck.
But then again, Australia, I think people already point out, like, Australia is already a zoo.
That was the best.
So like,
yeah, it is.
So they're already ready for this type of shit. Like, you know, you're like, you know.
Honestly, the country made up of convicts. Yeah, who are they?
It's already a zoo, so they're already like, oh, like we know how to like manage things, but also because it's sparse, dense, sparse population, it's a bit easier. There's also less visitors on average compared to just London alone. I think London gets more visitors than Australia in the year, for example. So it's a bit easier, but still.
Possibly, but then still, it's still a tourist destination. So I can't say that. Just Sydney and Melbourne alone. Never mind, like.
Yeah, but who really goes to Australia though? Who really goes to Australia? You know, who really goes to Australia though?
For holidays, it's too far. It's too many creepy crawlies.
I'd love to go. I'd love to go for like 6 months and
I'd love to go, but it's not like it's not the destination that everyone's jumping to.
And I'd love to go for 6 months, like obviously from October to March. But you know,
that you should do what they come here to do. They come here, they work.
Do like a working
whatever.
holiday
Remember
thing. Yeah, you can do that in Hong Kong as well. Like a kind of, you can like officially do like a working holiday. Or something.
Yeah, because there was a point where that was all the rage, and we had all these Australians and people from New Zealand coming over and partaking in it. So why not?
I'm a bit.
You can do like a working holiday thing in it. Yeah.
So like back in the day, I remember loads of like Australian people and people from New Zealand. They will come here on a working holiday, whether they come to be a supply teacher or something like that.
Yeah.
So we should be doing. We should go over there.
Isn't that what the rest of the world is doing during summers?
Yeah, on average.
Oh yes, but this is like an all year round thing.
Yeah,
it was. I don't know. I don't really see it happening much, or maybe because I'm not in those.
Basically, almost like a gap year thing.
I guess.
Yeah.
Well, you know, professional gap year, isn't it?
Professional
work.
But
you don't just make out of elephants or whatever people do. I don't know. Yeah, I like that idea.
I can't say. I can't talk about it. I was gonna say something rude just now, but never mind.
I think at some point there were so many coming over. They even made like they launched an Australian pub. It's called Walkabout.
Fair enough.
Something like that, because there was a real community.
Yeah, but that's nice.
But then there's not much difference between our culture and their culture anyway. So of course, why wouldn't they?
Obviously, there's not going to be much difference when it's literally the same exact people. It's just the descendants of like the same people that was brought over.
Yeah, well, I like to say I don't want to say too much, but I'd say the caliber of those people is a little bit iffy.
Yeah, no, it was. I understand it was criminals, but it was.
No, I'm talking about the evolved Australian people, the ones that are here today.
Oh, at least from what
have you seen them?
I've spoken to them. Oh, I love them.
Oh yeah, I love them, but they're very
What?
They're like English people on steroids. I don't know. They're like.
Yeah, but at least no. I'm sorry, but English the places where English people would just like, oh, they will keep it quiet, or they would stop saying it. Australians would just say it. I'd rather just hear it than you going.
It depends.
Like
it depends.
Keeping it quiet and then afterwards going and talking behind my back. I'd rather you tell me in my face. Like Australians do it, rather than like how English do it, and they will not say anything to you, or just like, oh, I'm gonna keep it quiet in here.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna go and talk to my wife about you. Fuck off. Just tell me in my face then. I mean,
but this is Britain, where everything's indirect.
I'm literally talking to two people that knows me the best, like especially from like here, from like UK. So,
but like I think Britain, everything's indirect and everything's weird. Like, you know, people talk about things, but they don't really talk about things.
No,
it's just it's probably the reason why you still have a royal family. I mean, like
yeah, because we're not really calling them out, and
it's just
it's
Elizabeth, mate. It's just, you know,
are we calling them out now?
But then also, I think there's also a symbolism thing of like Elizabeth is this like kind of historical relic that gets to hang out because she was around in the 50s, and it's just kind of like she's cute now.
Yeah, it's interesting to keep her around.
It's just like just as someone who's into history, it's just interesting that someone who was a queen in 1952 and what that means now in the modern day.
Because honestly, I don't really think we have a need for a monarch anymore. We don't have a need for a monarchy.
I mean, yeah,
but they will.
We really don't.
But it's just there,
I think the only reason that the monarchy still exists is because of the charity work that they do.
And it's nice having like a head of like a kind of ambassador for the country, but also like I guess theoretically speaking, exactly, and theoretically speaking, the monarchy makes a profit for the government, just about.
Yeah, but they don't make. I mean, they don't make that much money.
We're paying our taxes towards them. How do you make?
I'm saying theoretically, the money that comes from taxpayers' money, by supporting the royal gimmick, comes back in money from like tourism and other revenue in different ways. Yeah. Probably won't be the case after the Queen dies.
Okay,
am I allowed to even say that?
Yes, no, it's true. Actually, see,
but you know, because Prince Charles is not marketable. I'm sorry, Prince William is definitely not marketable. Yeah, and Prince Harry just left. So we got Anne, and we got the guy. You know, we got Andrew. So this is not marketable. I'm sorry.
Listen, I'm sorry, but I do not see
They're just not
Charles
marketable. They're not marketable.
being the next king of England after they published his little dirty chat in the news mail. I don't see that man being king one day.
Andrew is like 5
They're mocking
months,
him.
right?
The tampon thing.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And it's the way it's the script, honestly. And do you know people actually reenact it online? That can't be my king. I'm sorry. No.
No, but I swear he's far in line anyway.
That thing is, like, you know, because of how kings and queens have worked for 1,000 years, he's the next monarch of England. Okay, cool, lovely.
No,
like it's like, no, he is Charles.
Not my
Charles.
king. Hashtag not my king.
I'm talking about Andrew.
Oh Lord.
I don't think Andrew. I don't think Andrew is the next.
No. He's not. You know, unless. No.
No.
Unless of underage girls will definitely drop down. I can tell you that.
Jeez. I don't. It's stuff like that where like you have this party boy lifestyle because you know who's gonna hold you accountable. You're literally the queen.
He's not doing anything. What is this man doing? Can you tell me his job, please? What job is he doing to get paid?
And you know what, Ignace?
My man is living off that money, yeah.
Ignace, don't get angry. Be inspired. Be inspired. In this country, you can be jobless and you can still, you know, do a lot. Okay, be inspired. You know.
I'm pretty sure if the Queen could pull a Diana on Andrew, she probably would.
Nah.
If she could pull a Diana on Andrew, she probably would. But she's already used that trick once. It's not going to work again.
You can't crash in Sydney instead of
at least from the
Paris.
The documentary that I've seen, apparently, like up until these whole like accusations, Andrew was like her favorite son.
Well, it's always the sport ones, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always ones that have no responsibilities. So the oldest child always has a bit of responsibility.
After the accusations came back,
Anne's a woman, so she's not allowed to wild out. And then you have Andrew in it, so
yeah.
You know,
the accusations came out about Andrew, then the youngest one became the most favorite.
Well, Anne.
I can't remember his name.
Wait, who's the other? Wait, I thought the Queen only has 3 children.
No.
Does she have more?
I think so.
I thought she only has 3.
I think
she has Charles,
Andrew, Anne,
and
some other dudes. Philip.
One more.
No, there's one more. There's got like he's a youngster.
Yeah, I know. There's one more. Earl of, is it? I don't know what he is, but there is one more apart from Anne, Andrew, and Charles.
Yeah, but
he's not that popular. But yeah. So, not all men.
Oh yeah. Go on. Yeah, go on.
Go for it.
Not all men.
Go for it.
How do you men feel to be brandished and painted with this brush of men are scum?
Thing is,
men are
like
predators.
when I was younger, I understand I'm not all men because
sorry, Harry, what was you saying?
Point of view. No,
So shall I repeat what
you
I
said
said?
men are scum. You said you're a scumbag, Ignace. You said you ain't shit.
I said no. I didn't say that's my personal. I'm saying
yeah.
that's the hashtags.
The discourse. It's like
Men are
discourse.
scum. Men are this.
It's like discourse.
So do you not so crazy?
What is
The guy
so
was
crazy
saying
that is like women are allowed to say that literally all men are fucked. Like are fucked up.
You know,
let me tell you something that's really crazy, right? There's a guy who's a teacher, right? Who I think he's a teacher of year 4. Sometimes he commented over the past like year or so, when he has to like sort out issues, you know, when kids fall out in a class or whatever, and say it's like between a girl and a boy. And how old are people in year 4? They're like
9.
No idea.
9. The 9-year-old girls are saying, "Oh, men are trash. Men are scum."
Yeah, but
because they haven't done the reading. But they haven't done the reading because they're 9. But maybe they have done the reading.
But that's teaching.
Maybe their dad is garbage. Maybe their uncle is a womanizer.
Crazy. It's been instilled in them from so young. It's really scary.
Maybe the uncle's a womanizer, isn't it? Maybe they see their dad, but he doesn't do dishes.
Listening to their parents.
But I think also when you're 9, it's like these things you don't feel the gravity of the things in the same way.
Yeah, but to throw that around,
which means it's a discourse that's going on.
There's one
grow into something else.
It's the level of understand. There's the level of understanding of behind the words. I mean, a 9-year-old girl is not gonna understand the full extent of what an adult person will understand, like what she's talking about. She might be like repeating it or might be saying it.
But it's scary nonetheless.
No, but that is just in terms of this specific example, it's just it seems to be just an example of the energy that she has around in the household, or somewhere, from some other familiar place.
Listen, I just find that, when there's a load of children being brought up in or coming from maybe single parent households, and they are being taught, if you're a female, to hate males from young.
Which I think that's the key thing of like, what is the conversation that's being had? Because I'm not in the room. I'm not in the room when these conversations being had. I don't know. Like, but obviously every household will be different and have that different kind of.
That's how that's how gay started. I mean,
wait, what?
The hate crime.
Jeez,
I'm joking.
Well then, wait,
did you hear what I said?
No.
Oh, thank God.
No. Oh dear.
No, no, man, I'm not gonna repeat this.
But yeah, so how do you guys feel? Do you think it's fair? Do you actually think that there are a lot of guys in?
There's definitely a spectrum of some sus people
that are scumbags.
No, there's some sus people.
But I think the same way there's a spectrum of women.
But I think the key thing to note is that, like, the thing is, right, there's this weird cycle of someone does something like really sus or really bad, and you're like, yo, that's kind of strange, and then you get to a point where like, I don't associate myself with this person anymore.
No, it's true. No, but you
know, so then it kind of has this weird split of like, people that are trying to do better for themselves and people that aren't being held accountable by anyone in their circle. I think that's the big split of like. And then
I feel like that's the difference between men and women as well. I feel like women are more likely to hold their
they shame people into it, where maybe a man is more likely to be like, I just don't want to chat to him anymore. He's doing like fucked up shit. I just don't I don't hang out with him anymore. I'm not gonna invite him to the thing. I might, because we bonded.
Yeah, but males
I don't care.
Males are not gonna hang out with females if they start acting weird as well.
Well, what type of weird? Like weird.
The same way that let's compare.
By catcalling and making you feel uncomfortable. And,
for example, eventually be like, I'm not trying to fuck with that.
Switching the roles around.
Exactly, yeah. And even then, it's still like,
there's a guy like you're gonna go with the fuck. There might be, and in the same exact way, there might be girls that like the attention, and in the same way, the guys like that girls are like that.
Yeah.
My whole thing is there's a full spectrum, and saying that all men are like that, fuck off.
No, of course that's not common sense. That's obviously stupid. That's a flawed statement. No, not all men are like that.
Because I'm guessing the whole hashtag that not all men.
But a surprisingly large number of them aren't reacting to certain things that happen in society the way they should do. So it makes them look suspect. So not all men are sus. Why aren't all men as outraged as?
And then in some ways, some people are. It's more a case of it's like the kind of activism thing of, okay, what am I doing? And then I think the idea is this is a good type of introspection. Okay, what are things? How can I be better? How can I take more time to make people feel comfortable? What are key things to remember? Just little things like, if I invite someone to hang, for examples. Let's say we're hanging out and it's just like 4 guys and like 1 girl or 2 girls, right? But it's like, let's say 80% guys and girls, and then we're hanging outside, and then I'm like, do you want to guys want to hang out at my house? I have to make sure it's presented in a way that it's like, that they feel safe and they don't feel like peer pressured into whatever. For example, it's these little things to remember. And then maybe when I was like 17, I forget that because you're like, you want to just hang out? Oh, you don't? Okay, you sure? But like you kind of, you're 17, like you're kind of bushy because you just want to like have party. But then and then looking back an hour or 2 later, you think, oh shit, maybe she just wanted to like feel safe, and maybe I didn't do the best to present that. As if,
I also, on the flip side, I also feel like we're very much overcomplicating things.
Yeah,
you understand?
And it's not that complicated.
We're making people jump through too many hoops just to achieve.
But it's not.
I was just
it's not that complicated, but it's the idea of like
overcomplication. To be honest,
I'm talking about like these aren't like my friends. These people I only kind of sort of know, for example.
Okay.
So
okay.
I think like we're kind of cool, we're amicable, but we're not on that level of friendship. But like, oh, you know me, and we have a shared friend circle. So I kind of understand how like you might want to be like, okay, nah. And then I think the next reaction to that has to be like, okay, remember there are people sometimes you just want to go home. Like even if I'm cool with it, I just want to go home and sleep.
But
I
just don't understand why would it be like almost like a separate invitation to the woman in the group rather than.
No, it's not separate. I'm talking about like if you're in a group and there's like 6 of them.
Yeah.
At least from my experiences, it's much easier to like randomly invite a guy to your house than a woman.
What if you're speaking to them as a group? Because I wouldn't really.
As a group, yes. As a group, yes, and it's calm.
Make special.
Yeah.
Question
as a group,
for me,
yeah, it's calm.
Yeah.
But I think it's that whole thing of, you know, I mean, for example, like you go on TV or you hear stories like, yo, like a police officer kidnapped a woman, you know. And I think that's the key thing. It's not really like a, you know, men are dangerous thing. It's more a case of the nuance of, at least from what I gathered, not enough women are comfortable with taking the varying risk that comes from, you know, being outside at night or these other little things. Even if you're like, oh, it's only a 5% chance, but yo, it's a 5% chance.
So it's a big chance.
You know, but it's a 5% chance. But, you know, it's that whole thing of like, oh, these people will probably chill, but, you know, so was my friend's uncle until that thing happened. Or so was, and I think maybe there's that idea of, you know, respecting that people try to have their own comfort, you know. I think it's the whole thing, you know, am I comfortable with this person? Is there an avenue in which they can be more comfortable with me? Okay, I do what I can, you know.
Yeah.
But I think that whole being comfortable can also be questioned by the woman as well, right?
What do you mean?
Like your intentions of wanting to be comfortable. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, like an example.
Yeah.
So even with the whole inviting thing, I think that's why that's where it comes the kind of feeling unsafe. That obviously if they don't know you as well, it's the kind of questionable place to be comfortable. If that makes sense, if you're inviting them over. Am I not getting this right?
I'm trying, no comprendo, baby. I'm trying to get it.
Say again.
No, because when you were giving the example of like inviting like people over, and the woman was that you wouldn't invite a woman because she might not feel safe, right? Isn't that what you said?
Yeah. It's like the idea of
well, you want to invite her in a way that she does feel safe.
Yeah. So she could also not feel comfortable. That's what I'm trying to say. Like with the fact that she's going into somebody else's house, she might not feel.
Yeah, but then she has the opportunity to say no. No one's forcing her.
And that's the idea of, can I say no and not fear that there'll be some kind of weird retribution, which is very.
But wouldn't you like? I just because I was trying to say this before. Wouldn't you just be inviting everyone then? Just saying to the group rather than to a person.
Yeah. I know people in the group, you know, be like, okay, cool, I can do that. Okay, cool, I can do that. Or the classic, okay, I'll go if you go, and then we'll both go home at 1.
It's so because I literally asked that question and then I just got like 3 other questions on top of it, because then the peer pressure can come in.
I just think the way everything is, everyone's so. I'm not gonna say everyone's so sensitive now, but I remember back in the day. You know, I think I went on a night out or something, and I'd gone out with the group of people, boys and girls. I think I got close to a boy.
With me a lot of times to drink, girl.
Got close to a boy or whatever it was, and you know, I didn't feel threatened or anything, but we were talking. We knew that we liked each other and whatever else was going to happen.
Then, you know,
the guy just slung me over his shoulder. Now, if that happened today, they'd be screaming, "Oh!"
But maybe not. If you're keeping it real, though, maybe not.
Like it it's just a guest thing. It's fun. Like, everyone's so sensitive and like, oh.
But like, to be honest, maybe they wouldn't, because they'd see, oh, in that situation, you know, the girl doesn't look at her friends and say, oh, help me.
Yeah, but you know, like, people always gonna have something to say.
But again, I think like I've seen help me eyes, and if you're not giving help me eyes to like a friend or something, then it's different. Yeah. I've seen help me eyes, you know, and if that's not the case, then it's different, isn't it? You're like, okay, it's like that. Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I think a lot of my female friends, because it's bands. Some of them are very light, you know. So, but yeah, you just vibe, and I think the idea is, at the end of the day, I'm comfortable enough to, like, you know, feel like I can chill. Mm-hmm. You know, it's really that. Yeah, it's that kind of.
Can I ask? Do any of you know where? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I said I'm gonna do more research, but I didn't. Do any of you know where it kind of like did it originate specifically from the event, or did it just from somewhere before that?
What do you mean?
Well, I heard it from you first, to be honest, Ignis. I hadn't heard come across that hashtag not all men.
Hashtag not all men.
I mean, like it's been I've seen that hashtag like at least 4 years ago, but then again, I literally live on the internet. So, but I think the thing is, for example, there's that whole meme. Like,
so it wasn't from that event. So it wasn't.
There's that whole meme that's at least 2 or 3 years old, like saying, "Oh, not all men, but definitely this guy," for example. And I guess the key thing is like, oh, there's like definitely this guy, and then I think I was talking to my friend on the phone about this kind of split into like a third of people. There's like one guy who's like in the wrong, and there's one guy who's like, I don't want to be associated with this, and I'm just not going to address it, and I'm just going to like lean back. And another guy's like speaking, saying, hey, why are you doing this? We shouldn't be, you know. So you get that I guess that's the simple way to break it down, of like people fall somewhere between those three.
I'm most likely the person is going.
Yeah. Well, you know, and the thing is, maybe sometimes it's easier to do that, especially, for example, you're walking home, and you're like, okay,
no. If it's, I'm talking about if it happens in front of me, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if it happens in front of me, it happens literally in front of me. If there's no one around, like, who the fuck is gonna do something about it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm talking about if it's like, for example, if this whole like I saw this over the internet, like on the internet, I'm not gonna care. Do you get what I mean? Because I like, it's not happening in my close circle. I'm gonna care.
Yeah.
I'm gonna care if it might affect my close circle. So I would actually have conversations with people within my circle about it, or whether they've had situations like this, or I'll be protective over the people that's in my circle. But if it's somebody that I've never even seen them in front of me, I don't know their name, I don't know their eye color. I mean,
I guess it just boils down to, you got to pick your battles wisely and see, you know, don't go taking paracetamol for somebody else's headache. It's true. If it's not local, then why should you be so rah?
His ass is not in my ass. I'm sorry.
Ooh, hello.
But both of you know, Star knows, like you, Harry, know, like when it comes, like especially when it comes to me.
If you don't give a heck, you don't give a heck.
I will be chill until I don't have like.
You don't have to be, yeah.
I don't have to be.
Yeah, you don't like stress for nothing.
I ain't stressing for shit, but if I'm stressing, if you get me to the point where I should be stressing, or I need to be stressing, motherfucker, something is gonna change.
Yeah.
So
that's true. Because the thing is, if you pay attention to everything we see on the internet, we wouldn't be able to sleep at night. You know, we wouldn't be able to. So yeah.
Corona itself is fucking everyone up their ass. You wanna worry about other shit?
bigger fish to fry, indeed. Yeah, but I'm so over this whole Corona crap, man. Like, this is a bad dream that's gone on for too long.
The joke's over now. The joke's over now. It's, you know,
you want to name all the bullshit that has happened literally since Corona happened. Okay, so Corona happened. There was racist shit in America, protests and
that's every day though. That's every day though.
Every day.
And then Antifa, and then like the whole Antifa fucking jumped into the what's it called? Into Parliament building. What's the Parliament building in America?
Oh yeah,
Capitol
the
building.
yeah,
Capitol
yeah,
building.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So-
yo.
So Antifa, I think it was Antifa. They like
Antifa.
stormed.
No, it was an Antifa. It was
Q.
the supporters of Trump,
QAnon.
I guess.
Q,
QAnon,
yeah.
sorry.
Like the supporters of Trump in general, I guess.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, Antifa.
Who also happen to be
QAnon.
QAnon
But all of them.
supporters.
So some of them might, yeah, it obviously very diverse range of, but yeah, anyway.
Yeah, sorry, Antifa. It wasn't Antifa. It was that.
But the one thing that would
QAnon.
link them would be, you know, kind of
So that
anti-establishment.
whole
Trump
shit
supporters.
happened. Now we're talking about women getting killed by police officer. That's why not all that's why there's a hashtag of not all men. I'm like, fuck's sake. That's why I wanted to kind of get this out.
No, but do you know what? I think we have to. It depends on how you look at it. The policeman killed a policeman killed a woman, so they're gonna now do not all men. Because if you think about it, okay, your regular Joe, you don't know if he's sane, whether he's crazy. Probability that he could kill you, I don't know, is anything between 1% to 100, right? But a police officer, you don't ever expect
Like
them
it's the
to.
title.
So I think when they're saying not all men, is in even though it seems like all types of men can hurt you, but really it's not all. I don't know. That's my take on it. I think.
No, as
Yeah.
far as
But then I think
as far as understood that there's the reason I'm guessing that it came back or it's being more used more often is that I'm just not saying that it's facts, but I'm just guessing that it's like even a policeman can hurt you.
Yeah, which is the key.
So,
thing
like
we brought
basically,
up,
like all men can hurt you. That even a policeman can.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
think
so
that's
that's what happened, though. That is what happened.
Yeah, but once again, it's the same way as is the same way of saying, oh, yeah, but it's all men. All men are dicks.
No, nobody's going around saying that though, Ignis. No one's
But
going
no
around
one's really
it's
saying that.
all
No one's
men.
really saying that.
No, but
No
it's
one's really saying you're
no
all
one's-
rapists. No, they're
But they're
just
saying
saying
there's a range
scary
of
number.
if an issue comes up, how many of you are actually spending time to hold each other accountable, or how many of you are disassociating from this noise and showing that we will not allow that in my space or in my house?
Yeah, because not
my
enough
parties.
are. You
you
don't
know.
have to be a scumbag, but if your brethren's a scumbag and you're not
What if
calling
I
them
want
out,
to?
Are you still chilling with him and you're not talking about it? You know, then you know, it's a problem.
My question is what if I want to?
what if you want?
what?
Never mind.
Jeez.
No, you're saying
Okay.
I'm not like about. I said what if I want to? What if I want to be a scumbag? Just for a day.
Well, I don't know, Miss. You're on your own, man, on that one.
I'm just joking. I would do it for a week, not a day.
Now I understand. You know how, like, there was that film that was out, Purge,
Yeah.
whatever. But you know, there in like certain religions, like I think it's there's one in Judaism, and I think the Sunni sect of Muslim, whatever, where they give themselves one day a year
What to sin?
to sin,
What?
Hello.
to drink, far, everything. You know, like
That's not too
I
bad.
think the Jewish festival is called Purim, and I don't know what the Muslim one is, but yeah, they give themselves one day a year just
I've never
to
heard of this.
Well, just
Huh?
drink
To
everything. Just fuck it.
great.
I've
You
never
should, so
heard
yeah,
of this.
it's Purim Purim. It's a good old. I think it's the Orthodox Jews though.
I will definitely look into that. I mean, I'm
But
not.
yeah, they drink
gonna look
to a
into it.
stupor, they dance, they dress how they want, all this sort of stuff. It's
I
Wait,
would-
we need that.
I might join them.
I think we need a purge in this country.
Don't worry.
but not the one where you can kill people, but just
vibe in it. We're 21st of June, isn't it?
Harry,
yeah. Oh my god, you
I
know
was just
what?
about to say, don't you think that literally as soon as everything opens, it's gonna be
We're finished. It's finished.
It's gonna be like that movie. What's that movie called? Saw, please help me. What's that movie called?
Project X.
Project X. Here you go. It's literally gonna be like Project X on the streets everywhere. I feel so bad that I'm definitely gonna. I know for sure I'm gonna be working, and I feel already shit. And this is now.
It's gonna be long.
This is March.
I'm not working, bro. I'm dying on the line. June 21st, I am dying on the line.
What day is that?
Out here.
Is that a Thursday?
Find me in Shoreditch at 7 a.m.
Sunday or Thursday, right?
So doing that madness.
It's probably gonna
Monday.
It's probably gonna be like Friday or something.
No, June 1st is a Monday. So that 26th.
Yeah,
that Saturday 26th. That Saturday 26th is a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Exactly.
No one's waiting. No one's waiting for that Monday.
That's Saturday 26th.
Monday. Come on, it's literally everything's gonna happen that weekend. Think about it.
Yeah.
Like all the
people already
are gonna need time to
already taking their bookings for this nightclub, all the shisha lounges. I know people are booking up restaurants, even if they don't go, they're booking it just so they don't miss out. Like, the world's gonna be absolutely chock-a-block for the first couple of months when everything opens up again.